Good morning, students. Sanjay sir is here to teach you formation of Muslim League and its objectives and factors leading to the formation of Muslim League. So on December 30, 1906, Muslim League was formed under the leadership of and Nawab Mohsin ul Mulk to safeguard the rights of Indian Muslims. Factors that promotes the Muslim leagues are British plan, lack of education, loss of sovereignty, and Muslims expression of religious color, economic backwardness of India. So partition of Bengal created a communal divide. On December 30, 1906, Muslim League was formed under the leadership of Aga Khan, the Nawab of Dhaka and Nawab Mohsin ul Mulk to the notion to safeguard the rights of Indian Muslims. Initially, it gets great support from the British, but when it adopted the notion of self-rule, then they get destitution from them. The Amritsar session of the League held in 1908 under the presidency of Sir Syed Ali Imam, a separate electorate for the Muslims. This was conceded to them by the Morley Minto Reform 1909. Maulana Muhammad Ali started an English journal, Comrade, and an Urdu paper, Hamdard, to propagate his anti-League. He also started Al-Hilal, which served as mouthpiece of his nationalist views. Then the communalism grew in India. Hindus and Muslims lived together in India for centuries. From the beginning of the 8th century AD, they had developed some ways of life. Since both the communities were exploited by the British, they fought together during the First War of Independence of 1857. Such a unity between the two communities posed a danger to British imperialism. The uprising of 1857 made the British realize that they had to divide the two communities in order to prolong their rule in India. They therefore tried to sow the seeds of discord between them to check the rising tide of nationalism. They encouraged the communal forces to wreck the national movement from within. They dubbed the national movement as a movement for establishing the Hindu kingdom in India and encouraged the Muslims to set up their own separate political organization. It was the British policy of divide and rule that led to the rise of communal trend and to the formation of Muslim League in 1906. The factors promoting the Muslim League. For British plan dividing India on communal lines and adopt a separate attitude in Indian politics, for example, separate electorate, played caste politics between non-Brahmins and Brahmins. So here, British policy of divide and rule. As we have discussed in the chapter First War of Independence in 1857, the British became apprehensive of the safety and stability of their empire in India. They saw the unity between the Hindus and the Muslims as a threat to them. Thus, to check the growth of a united national feeling in India and to encourage communal and separatist tendencies in Indian politics, they decided to follow the policy of divide and rule. They did so in this manner. First, in 1871, Lord Mayo's government adopted a resolution which made Urdu the medium of instruction for primary and secondary schools and increased government aid to educational institutions run by the Muslims. Secondly, they tried to create hatred among the Hindus and Muslims by portraying Muslim rulers as plunderers and Hindu rulers as cruel kings to their Muslim subjects. Thirdly, they tried to justify the partition of Bengal by convincing the Muslim that Bengal to create a new Muslim majority province where the Hindus would not be able to subvert their interests. Fourthly, they tried to the caste instruction to turn the non-Brahmins and the lower castes against high castes. Fifthly, they treated Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs as separate communities and accepted their communal leaders as authentic representatives of all their co-religionists. Sixthly, they tried to spread communal hatred through the press, posters, literature and public platform. Then next, lack of education. Muslims were isolated from Western and technical education, and loss of sovereignty by Muslims. In 1857, revolt makes British to think that Muslims are dangerous for their colonial policy, as they were established their rule after dethroning the Mughal rule. So this British established their supremacy in India after dethroning the Mughal rulers who were the followers of Islam. Therefore, the Muslims became bitter enemies of the British. They participated in the Wahhabi movement, which aimed to end British domination in India. They also took part in the uprising of 1857. This made the British view them with suspicion. The British government consciously discriminated against the Muslims, holding them responsible for the uprising of 1857. However, after the 1870s, the British government changed its attitude and followed the policy of appeasing the Muslims in order to undermine the national movement. They sowed the seed of dissension between communities and encouraged separatist and communal tendencies. Then expression of religious scholar. Most of the historians and radical nationalists glorified India's one side of our composite culture. They praised this, the praises were biased because Shivaji, Rana Pratap, etc. were praised, but they remained silent on Akbar, Sher Shah Suri, Alauddin Khilji, Tipu Sultan, etc. Then, relative backwardness of the Muslim community in education, I told you, and backwardness in trade and industry. The communal and separatist trend grew among the Muslims to some extent because of their relative backwardness in education, trade, and industry. The upper class Muslims, comprising zamindars and aristocrats during the first 70 years of the 19th century, were anti-British. They were conservative and hostile to modern education. Because of this, the number of Muslims educated in Western system of education remained small. Secondly, British government in India had consciously discriminated against the Muslims after 1858, holding them responsible for the uprising of 1857. They were discriminated in the recruitment of civil and military services. Thirdly, the Muslim community was not much involved in the growth of any organized industry. Here too they lagged behind. Fourthly, some members of the Muslim community did not keep up with the modern trends in social and cultural space. This was because they were proud of their own literature and culture and did not adopt the Western system of education. Many Hindus, on the other hand, adopted the Western system of education. Since modern education was essential for which the Muslim had the disadvantage in this respect. In these circumstances, it was quite easy for the British officials to incite the Muslims against the Hindus. Then, economic backwardness of India. Lack of industrialization causes acute unemployment, and British attitude towards cottage industry was pathetic. So the economic backwardness of the country contributed to the growth of communalism in India. Due to the British colonial policies, India lacked modern development, and there was acute unemployment among the educated youth. As a consequence, there was fierce competition among the youth to secure the few available jobs. This led to the people to demand reservation in jobs on the basis of caste, creed, or religion. The British used this opportunity to push further their policy of divide and rule and communal rivalry among the educated Indians on the questions of jobs in government services. However, the unemployed people failed to realize that British themselves were responsible for their economic backwardness.